everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be joined by Big D from Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews, and we're going to be doing our ranking of the Muppet Movie series. So before I get into my ranking, I'm going to let Big D do his part, so take it away, Big D.
Hey everyone, this is the Big D here, and I'm proud to be a part of this ranking of the Muppet movies with Ogre Boy 1992. Number 8 is Muppets from Space. It's okay, but it lacks the music and the magic. Number 7 is Muppet Treasure Island. It's fun, and I do like Tim Curry as Long John Silver. Pretty good in some ways. Number 6 is Muppets Most Wanted. It does have some fun moments. Constantine's a pretty good villain. I liked him. Number 5 would be The Muppets Take Manhattan. Very good movie. I grew up watching it as a kid. I might rewatch it someday. Number 4 would be The Muppet Christmas Carol. I like Sir Michael Caine as Ebenezer Scrooge, and this is one of my favorite takes of the Charles Dickens story itself. Number 3 is the Great Muppet Caper. Love this movie. Charles Grodin is great as the villain, Nicky. I absolutely enjoy this. Another one of my childhood faves. Number 2 would be The Muppets. That was a big redemption, and I do like this. Well, not just like it, but love it, though, too, for certain reasons. I did like the cast and Walter as well. Number 1 would be The Muppet Movie. I love it. I've watched it numerous times. I love all the characters, the human cast as well, including Doc Hopper, great villain. Enough said. Again, I'd like to thank you for making me a part of these reviews and this ranking, Ogre Boy. Until then, this is the Big D saying, see ya.
Thank you, Big D. Our rankings are pretty similar in a lot of ways and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and get on with mine. Starting out at number 8 is Muppets from Space. Like Big D said, this movie just doesn't have the magic and heart that the Muppet movies normally do. It wasn't a musical, and that really took away from the movie for me and everything. And a lot of this one was just kind of forgettable. I mean, besides the ending where we find out that Gonzo's an alien, I mean, that's really the only thing about the movie that I really remember. I just watched it the other day and everything, and and the Dawson's Creek characters having a cameo, which I thought was cool. That's really the only things about this movie that I remember from just watching it the other day. It's just really weak one in the franchise. It's just not as good as any of the other ones, and it's just really a big disappointment for me. So Muppets from Space is number 8, and number 7 is The Great Muppet Caper. I do like this one quite a bit. It's just not one of my most favorites. Kind of like Muppets from Space. It's just one that I don't... to me, it's not as memorable as some of the other Muppet movies and everything, but it is a lot more entertaining, and I do love like the over-the-top meta humor that this movie has, because it does have a lot of really good jokes and stuff in here, and I like a lot of the songs. They're pretty good. They're not as catchy as some of the other Muppet movies, but they still have good songs and everything. And like I said, I think that The Great Muppet Caper is still a good movie. It's definitely not a bad one, and really all the ones with this one going up are ones that I did at least enjoy quite a bit and everything. So but The Great Muppet Caper is number 7, and number 6 is Muppets Most Wanted. This is one of those movies that I had a kind of mixed feelings for when I watched it the very first time, because I was disappointed with it as a sequel to The Muppets, which I felt was like a really, really hard movie to follow and everything, but I also did really enjoy it at the same time. I just don't think it was as good as The Muppets and everything. And I think this is a pretty decent movie. I think really just having to follow one of the best movies in the Muppet movie series is kind of what takes it down a little bit of a notch for me, but it had some really good humor and cameos, and The only other thing about the movie that I didn't really care for as much is I didn't really like a lot of the songs in here, or they weren't memorable to me, except for We're Doing a Sequel and Together Again. Are really the only two songs in the whole movie that I really thought were memorable and everything. And I think this one was just a decent movie, not extremely great, but not terrible either. So Muppets Most Wanted is number 6, and number 5 is Muppet Treasure Island. I actually went into this movie rewatching it, not knowing whether I would love it or hate it, because it was one that I was never real crazy for as a kid, because they played it a lot on Disney Channel, and I got really tired of it after a while and everything. But now that I'm older and stuff, I appreciate it a lot more, and I really enjoy the movie a lot more as an adult. And Tim Curry is the main reason why, of course. I mean, Tim Curry always makes everything that he's in a little bit better, even if the movie itself isn't extremely great. He's always, at least, you can always rely on him to at least be good in the movie and everything. And Muppet Treasure Island was far from a bad movie. It was a lot better than I remembered. I enjoyed it a whole lot more. I liked a lot of the songs in it, especially the one at the beginning, and there are a couple other ones that I really liked in there. And like I said, Tim Curry was great. The kid who played John Hawkins was really good, and it just was a really fun movie. It could have been a lot better, yes, but it could have also been a lot worse. So Muppet Treasure Island is number 5, and number 4 is The Muppet Christmas Carol. I really do love this movie. It was one that I grew up with the most out of all the Muppet movies. One of the two that I watched a lot as a kid and everything. And I love the story of A Christmas Carol. It's always been one of my favorite Christmas stories. But personally, when it comes to Christmas Carol movies, I personally go for the Jim Carrey version more. That's my favorite version. But I really did love this version. I love the songs in here, and Michael Caine's performance was amazing. He was great as Mr. Scrooge and everything. He was really good at being bitter and unlikable, and then at the end he becomes a really likable character and stuff, and I thought he did a really great job playing him and everything. So The Muppet Christmas Carol is number 4, and number 3 is the original Muppet Movie. This one is one that I didn't have a lot of nostalgia for, because I didn't watch it a whole bunch as a kid. I did watch it a couple times, but I didn't really start getting into the Muppets until I was in my early 20s, really, to be honest with you. And this movie, I never really watched it all the way through and appreciated it as a kid like I do now and everything. But this is a great movie. I love that it's a road trip movie, and we get to see how all these Muppets met and everything. I think, like Big D said, Hopper was a good villain, and this was just a really fun movie. I love the cameo from Big Bird, which I thought was awesome, and it's just a really good movie. So the Muppet Movie is number 3, and number 2 is 2011's The Muppets. This is the one that I've seen probably the most out of all of these movies. Even the next one, which is one that I've watched a lot as a kid. But I've watched The Muppets I don't know how many times. I just absolutely love this movie. I'm a pretty big fan of Jason Segel. I really liked a lot of it. I liked most of the movies he's been in, and I loved him on How I Met Your Mother and shows like Freaks and Geeks and Undeclared. And he was great in this, and Amy Adams was great too, but she's always great. I mean, she's one of the best actresses of this generation. And they were both great in this movie, and this had some of the best songs in the movie, especially Life's a Happy Song and Man or a Muppet, which is the one that won the Oscar. I love both of those songs a lot and everything. I really like the Muppets from 2011 quite a bit, so it's number 2. And my number 1 favorite Muppet movie is The Muppets Take Manhattan. I just absolutely love this movie. It's one that I have the most nostalgia for. I've watched it I don't know how many times. I used to watch it all the time as a kid. And it's the one Muppet movie as a kid that I really, really did love, though. Because, like I said, I liked the Muppet Christmas Carol as a kid, too. But besides those were really the only 2 Muppet movies I really watched very much as a kid. And the only other Muppet thing I really watched a lot was the Muppet Babies and everything. Which the Muppet Babies come from this movie. They kind of were introduced in this movie before they made the animated series. And I just absolutely love this movie. I love the songs. I love that everybody kind of goes their own way, and it kind of has a depressing feel to it. It's like kind of sad and everything, and which makes the movie feel so much better and stuff at the end of it when they all get back together and everything. So I think this is just a really, really good movie, and it's easily my favorite movie in the Muppet movie series and everything. So let me and Big D know in the comments what your favorite Muppet movie is, and if you want to, let us know your rankings of these movies. How would you rank the Muppet movies? Very interested in that. And thank you, Big D, for joining me on all of these Muppet videos. It's been great collabing with you and everything. I've really enjoyed it and everything. And thank you all, and have a good day.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer walking home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe.